Josh Green here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by boxing manager Mr. Neil Marsh. How are you doing, mate?
Yeah, good, thank you. How's yourself?
Yeah, very, very well. Exciting times just around the corner for one of your fighters in David Avanesyan, obviously called up to face Boots Ennis. A real opportunity for him, and an opportunity he's been waiting for quite some time.
Yeah, it's a fantastic opportunity. We've been sat waiting for the right opportunity. We did actually have a meeting with Matchroom before Crawley signed the purse bid forms, because we're a viable opponent, and we made it very clear we'd have that fight. But when Crawley signed it, we thought it was dead. We was happy to go along with the EBU because it's been too long. We was working on something because we was highly ranked with the WBC. And there's been a few other things I've been on and we've just not managed to pull them off. I think his performance v Crawford scared a lot of people off. So, yeah, exciting time. Very happy for the kid. He's been very loyal to me. He's never turned a challenge down. We couldn't be happy for him, mate.
I was going to say, it seems to have been a story surrounding David for a long time that he's sort of struggled to get these big fights. Fighters haven't wanted to fight him. So the Crawford opportunity was a big one. And even though he came out on the wrong side of that, he took the opportunity and he put in a good performance. What are you expecting this time around?
It's an hard fight. I'm under no illusion. He's at the level of Crawford, in my opinion. But David's dangerous. It even come from Crawford's camp that David had hurt him. We know the controversy with the gloves. I've got my own opinion of that. And it's a tough fight, but one thing for sure, David Avanesyan's not taking this as a last-minute opponent. He came in very fit 5 weeks out, 4.5 weeks out. His weight's on cue. He's only half a stone above fighting weight now. We did a check weight today. He's going to give it him. So Ennis is a world-class fighter, potentially the best welterweight out there, in my opinion. But David Avanesyan's a real handful. So, and if he catches him, you never know, do you? But it won't be for wanting to try, and David will give everything, mate.
Quite some time has passed now since the Terence Crawford fight. Just how do you sort of reflect on that performance, that fight week and that night?
No, it's left with a little bit bitterness, really. David gave him an hell of a fight. The gloves didn't help. I think as a team, the referee had told Crawford's team they're going to change the gloves at end of round. And Crawford emptied the tank and took David out, where David was still in 12-round mode. And that's a fact. Not saying we'd have beat Terence Crawford, but if they'd have both changed the gloves, waited while the gloves were changed, should I say, at end of round 6, or as it should have been at the beginning of round 6, David had been fresh, and they'd have given him another solid, who knows, 4, 5, 6 more rounds. Could it have been a points loss? We don't reflect too much on that. We feel badly done to by it, but we've moved on. Thank you to Eddie Hearn for this opportunity, and I've got an sort of unexpected one at the top table. So,
It's interesting that you say thank you to Eddie Hearn. I know you guys haven't always been on the same page, not always been the best of mates, but what was it like sort of receiving the call to get David in this position?
No, listen, business is business. Me and Eddie haven't been friends for a long time, especially the Josh Kelly stuff and all that lot. But I think it's very apparent when you've got a fighter like David who goes to Kerman Larage's backyard, the biggest puncher in Europe at the time. Kowalski's the biggest puncher in the world at the time in the welterweight division. Goes to Shane Mosley's backyard, Lamont Peterson's backyard. He fights Terence Crawford. He knocks everybody out on his way to the Crawford fight. That's why I defended him so much. Listen, a lot's gone past since the Josh Kelly days, but a lot of fighters were saying David won't fight him, and we'll fight him and try and nick his belt and all the bollocks with it, and I just wasn't having any of it. But ultimately, when Eddie has signed a huge name like Jaron Ennis, and he's probably on big money, and you need a fighter and a team that's going to go there experienced and not give two monkeys about anything, I think we fit the bill. So there's always a face to a fight, and ultimately David's ability, he deserves that. we'll add to that. And it wasn't the call. It was like I'd heard Crawley was out. I sent one of the team a little message. Here we go. We're ready. We've got the American visa. Medicals are in order. You'll have them in 24 hours. Don't mess about with here. You know, there was a couple of other names in. They confirmed he was out. I met one of the team in London. Thrashed out the contract between us. I spoke with my lawyer and that, and it was quick. It was done. A bit of haggling over money. I've got to do my best for David. They want to pay X, I want Y. Need to get it as close to Y as I can, and that's it. And I'll tell you what it was. I was more relieved. I'm very capable of delivering opportunities for my kids, like I've proven. But this was testing times, and I'm just very happy that David trusted me with patience. You know, he was happy with 6 months off after Crawford. Then we start looking. We couldn't make out. Come on, let's get you a win, just to keep you busy and keep you ranking, because we was in the WBC top 4. And then this came, and you know, proves patience is a virtue. Got a bit of luck, but you know. But with regards Eddie, listen, I spoke to him Saturday night, supporting Tyler Denny and taking David for a bit of media work, and I thanked him for it. You know, we don't have to like each other for do good business. Like, look at the long-standing feud between Eddie and Frank over the years, and they've worked well, producing the magnificent 5v5. Brilliant show. Anybody can work together, and boxing's better for it. And Eddie knows I'm an ultimate professional who just backs me kids. You know, I don't say yes to promoters. He give us the fight, and I'm grateful. And you know, there'll be no problem, and we'll just bring it. And come on, let's have it. You know.
Yeah. Does that breathe any sort of fresh life into a possible Avanesyan Conor Benn fight? I know that was talked about for a long time.
Right. Can I listen? I'm not going to put you on spot, but we have the likes of Conor Benn and Michael McKinson's and other people sounding people out. The one I respect is Josh Kelly for what he did. He got in that ring and he gave it an hell of a go. And I put a tweet out the other day. Too many people who talk, and anybody who favoured the opposite side to David Avanesyan over years with what they said. Look at David's resume. We don't need to prove anything to anyone anymore. The facts are the facts. We got the call over Conor Benn, and he was a clean athlete. We'd snatch his hands off. You know, like any fighter in the world, David would fight. It's funny. It was like we know how dangerous the welterweight division fighters are, and which ones we have to be careful of. And we know Ennis is up there. And David says, "How much, my friend? When is the fight? You do contract. I happy." And that's it. It's done. So in the past, when anyone's ever questioned him or questioned us as a team, the best referee in life is time, isn't it, mate? So, you know, I don't need to say any more about people who just want to be in these big fights.
You mentioned Josh Kelly's name there. I saw the picture of him and David from Saturday night. There are people suggesting, and there are rumours out there, that Josh Kelly could be facing Liam Smith on the Wembley card in September. Now that's an absolutely fantastic fight. I'm sure you'll agree. How do you think it goes?
I love the way I love the way Josh Kelly rebuilt himself. You know, he got an hell of a lot of stick. I felt he was put on a pedestal too soon. He's built himself. If he's got that grit and determination, which he's showing the signs of doing it, I'd favour Josh. It's all down to stamina. And I think Liam Smith a couple of years ago, I'd back Liam every day at week. And, you know, I like Liam Smith. I like the Smith brothers for what they've achieved. But I think it's common knowledge. Liam, you know, a few times struggled at weight. His last performance wasn't the best, to say the least. Very interesting fight. If you're managing Josh Kelly, it's a great fight. But if Liam Smith turns up and trains really hard, you can't call it, can you? You know, let's say it how it is. So it's intriguing. I just hope Liam gives it everything in his camp, and I wish them both all the very best. Like I said, Liam Smith, what went in Canelo, and that was a different animal than he is today, in my opinion.
Let's talk a little bit about Zach Parker. It's been a little while since we've seen Zach's name in the news, and we're sort of eagerly anticipating when he's going to be returning. Is there any news you can give me there?
Yeah, there'll be an announcement any day now. He's going to be out very, very shortly. We've missed a couple of really big things. It has been a bit frustrating. But it is what it is. Zach's one fight away from making a splash and being back there. With all due respect, promoters are busy with Saudi and can easily get forgot about. But that's down to the fighter to turn up and put an explosive performance and get recognised again. And you know, Zach's accepted some big fights. We accepted Bivol, we accepted David Morrell Jr., we've accepted Hutchinson's and Richards, and we've accepted everybody. It's just time. Frank Warren's a great promoter when he's behind you. I know he's behind Zach, so it's just about a bit of patience again. But he is out. He's out before August. So things are good, mate. So no problem with that.
Is there any reason why some of those fights didn't happen?
Just politics. That's, you know, I'm not going to start disclosing things. It's just politics, pal. You can't always get what you want, can you?
Fair enough.
But I guarantee you, Zach Parker is a world-class boxer, a world-class fighter. He's been so unlucky. We waited all that time and he broke his hand through Ryder. You know, it's been slow coming back. He got flipped with Zoiger and switched off. Zoiger coming half a stone heavy and tried to set us up, and he caught him. You know, listen, it is what it is. But Zach's shown true heart. He got up and he was in no trouble throughout the fight. He got through the win. Former world champion. You know, some people said, oh, he should be doing more than that. Well, if that's what you should be doing, that's fine. But let me tell you something, Zach Parker will become a world champion, and you'll see.
Could the British title be part of a rebuild for Zach Parker? I know
I think
about that.
I love the British title, but I think we're ahead of that. Don't you think? You know, a British title is for when, well, I'd like to say a number of fights, but we've been there, we've seen it, we've moved on, we became practically mandatory for Canelo, one fight away. We broke our hand. We've been one fight away from another big thing without saying too much. We're looking at world honours and pushing on. And you know, like I said, the British title's a tremendous belt, but I think we're just a little bit past that at the moment.
We know how much he's been gunning for that big fight at Derby County at the iPro. Forget what Pride Park. I can't remember what the official name is of the ground these days, but he's been gunning for that for a long, long time. Is that still achievable?
Not at the moment. Just being honest, we're not at that stage. It was with Dimitri Andrade. Frank Warren backed us. He put it there and Andrade pulled out. Sometimes you need to ride the crest of the wave, and we had it. We'd been pushed heavily in the Morrison fight, middle of Champions League highlights, everything, and that was the time, and it just didn't work. Zach's got to put a couple of good wins together before we start revisiting stadium fights. But listen, he does want it, and I'm sure once Zach puts a few wins together, I'm sure other people will want it as well.
Perfect. Just a couple of bits from sort of the boxing sphere, a couple of big news pieces I want to cover with yourself. Ryan Garcia, we sort of come to a bit of a conclusion of that story now. We've seen it's not 2 but 3 positive tests, and he's obviously been slapped with a big fine and a 1-year ban. Is that enough? Is that what you expected?
I think drug cheats should be banned for 5 years straight away. I even think, I nearly put a tweet out, I think when you do big fights and you get monies deposited in escrow account, I think fighters should deposit the funds into escrow accounts. And if they fail it, they've then got to prove it to receive the purse, full stop. I don't like it. It's an unfair playing field. We've had VADA that many times. I love VADA. Anyone who questions the integrity of VADA and the British Boxing Board of Control need to give their head a shake. I've worked with VADA on multiple fights. I remember when David was in with Lamont Peterson, he'd been caught cheating twice. We implemented the strictest VADA testing world boxing's known. You know, it's the top package you could do. And David was hassled as soon as he got off the airport, in his hotel room. Just listen, unbelievable amount of tests, what you have to do. But Josh Kelly, we had it. Shane Mosley. No, sorry, we didn't have it in the Mosley. The Kavalauskis, we had it. Crawford, it was signed up, even though there was only 1 test. Weren't really happy with that, but you know, it is what it is. You can only demand so much as a voluntary challenger. So going on to the main point with Ryan Garcia, you don't know the circumstances and you don't know what's happened. It looks like he's pleaded guilty. If he's pleaded guilty, I think he should have got a lot more. You know, you can't get some of these drugs and toxins and chemicals in your body. It's bollocks. You know, I don't care what anyone says. I'm not going to start outing out fighters. If he's pleaded guilty and he's knowingly took products, listen, one day someone will die in the ring through a steroid abuser, and then it'll all go wrong. People will be on manslaughter charges and everything, and they all live. I just hope that we never get to that stage in boxing. So my answer is, if he's guilty, $1 million when he's probably got 10 million for that fight, and a 12-month ban when he's already served 2 or 3 months now. Is it 2 months now? No, it's not enough, mate. If he's guilty and pleaded guilty, 5 years and lose all his purse. That's a fact. Yeah. Just my opinion, mate. Just my opinion.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, to be honest. There,
someone will die in the ring through it, sadly, and it will happen. And God bless the day it does. And you know, it is what it is, isn't it, pal?
Yeah. And the final bit I've got to touch on is Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk. We've seen a couple of contrasting videos over the last couple of weeks from Tyson Fury. One of them stumbling out the pub, and one of them back in training. He said on his own YouTube channel yesterday that the fight against Oleksandr Usyk was at some point easy for him. Obviously, he didn't come out a winner in that fight. Is that sort of strange to hear as a boxing fan?
I think Tyson Fury can beat Usyk. I think he beats him at rematch. To say it's an easy fight, I can't say 100% agree with that. Oleksandr Usyk is not an easy fight for anyone. As for his personal stuff, I think people should leave boxers alone. I haven't really watched it. I seen a video very briefly of him being outside the pub. I don't know what went on in it. But imagine if, say for example, imagine him being completely teetotal, not had a drink, and gone out one night to celebrate, I don't know, a brother's wedding, and he's got absolutely sozzled. And then he's going to start camp. And then you get all your name going all around social. I'm not a lover of things like that. I think you should leave the man alone. He's had a lot of issues. He's been a brilliant talisman for UK boxing. He's done well get over his mental health demons. I think just people should leave him alone. And if he has slipped, I hope the people around him just put their arm around him and get him back on track. And that's it really, mate.
All right. Perfect, Neil. Really appreciate the time, and good to have you back on the channel after a couple of years away. And best of luck to David in 3 weeks or so when he's out against Boots.
Okay, mate. Take care. Thanks for having me.